Hello, hello. How are you doing? How are you doing? This is S. Anthony Thomas. This is the S. Anthony Says podcast. How are you doing, my friends? You know what? I just want to jump into this really quickly because there's something happened that's really, really annoying, and I'm pretty sure something similar has happened to you over the course of time, and it's really a pain in the butt, right? Have you ever had service that was really bad? You tell the person about the service that was bad, not because you're mad and not because you want to be mean, but because you want to help them make an improvement in good spirits. Because sometimes people will write really mean stuff. They'll mess up somebody's Yelp. They'll call up and curse at the person. They'll stand outside and yell at them. They'll go back to the place and fight the person. No, I didn't want to do that because this was the place that I went to all the time. I got food from this place all the time. All the time. I was such a good customer that when I would pick up the phone, they recognized my voice and suggested, which one of your normal orders do you want? And I would say, yeah, that one. And then they would do it. Or when I walked in, oh yeah, hey, how you doing? Hey? And then they would say my address and then they'd hold my food up. Yes, they did. Now, I'm not saying we were buddies or friends or anything like that, but I was a regular customer to this place and ordered a nice amount of food because I had a few people at my house when I would order from them. So I was money to these people. You dig? But one time I ordered some food from them and I go to eat it and there was a piece of metal in my food. A piece of metal. And oh man, right now I know things happen, but that's dangerous. Somebody could choke on that, right? So I call the restaurant up and I say, hey, I was just there. I ordered this. Oh, yes. There was a piece of metal and my food. Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me. Okay, goodbye. Click. Not, oh my God, I'm sorry. Not, oh, I'll check and see what's going on. Not, okay, come back and I'll give you another one for free. Or the next time you come back, the meal's on me. Nothing like that, which would have been acceptable because I'd never had problems with them before. But a piece of metal was in my food and you say, oh, okay, thanks, bye, click. No, I'm sorry. Just okay, thanks, bye, click. Now, a lot of times, like I said, people will get mad. They'll pick the phone back up. They'll curse the people out. They'll do all that kind of thing. But I'm not that type of person. Sometimes I'll hit them with what I like to refer to as the silent protest. Now, what's a silent protest? Keep in mind, when you go to a place and you order a lot of food and you go there on a regular basis, you are quite a substantial amount of money that goes to them over the course of a month or a year. But what happens when that person, me in this case, or you in this, if something like similar like that happened to you, just stopped going altogether and refuse to ever go back? They don't even know because I did call and let them know there was a problem, but they okay. So just think about the amount of times I would have gone back, but I won't be going back. Some people are going to go, man, you're going to miss that money. I understand that. But I also know that when somebody asks me about that place, what am I going to say? And people know that I don't talk about people like that. So if I say something about it, ooh, as Anthony said it, ooh. And all of a sudden, the people that I know won't go. And the people that they know won't go. People don't realize how often you get the silent protest. You get it all the time and you don't even know it. You ever find out about a party and you weren't invited to it? They might not even be mad at you. They just don't like you enough to want you around their house. They didn't want you there. They didn't go, hey, don't tell Dave about the party. They just don't invite you. They don't make a big deal out of it because when everybody shows up at the house and you're not there, if everybody's having a great time, they're just going to assume you're coming later. And then they're going home. Hey, how come? What happened to Dave? Oh, he must have been busy. No, Dave wasn't busy. Dave wasn't invited. It's very similar to a silent protest. You didn't want to diss Dave, but you didn't want him at your house. And then it becomes a habit where every time you have a party, Dave's not invited. Now everybody knows, I guess he doesn't like Dave, and nobody says anything. And Dave doesn't even realize it. In fact, they stopped talking about the party at work because they don't want Dave to feel like a dope because he wasn't invited, but eventually he figures it out. And he realizes 5 parties later, Oh, I guess I'm never going to be invited. It was a silent protest to Dave. He didn't want Dave at the house. We had a friend, and I say the word friend, and people use the word friend a lot, right? And my definition of friend is someone who really genuinely cares about you. If they do something nice for you, it's because they want to, and you do something nice for them because you want to. It seems like it's a reciprocal relationship, but it's just altruistic in nature, but it looks like reciprocity from the outside, okay? But everybody else just uses friend like, oh, this is somebody I hang out with, and we hang out and it's pleasant. That's what they say a friend is. So I'm just going to use that word friend just for simplification. We had a friend, right? And he was one of those ladies' man types. And that's his groove. Consenting adults, he sees a beautiful woman, he goes out with her, serial monogamous. Well, who am I kidding? Serial cheater. But we didn't know that at the time. Okay, cool, whatever. That's his business. Who cares, right? So we never paid much attention to, oh, here he goes again, the ladies' man. You never paid attention to it. And then one day he walks in with somebody, and he doesn't come to sit with us. He's got a woman with him. No problem. You want to spend time with a lady. I like my friends too, but when I'm spending time with my lady, if I see a bunch of my friends, I'm going to wave at them, but they know I'm with her. Keep your punk butts over there. I won't spend time with the lady. They know that every guy knows that you wave at your friend when he's with his lady and you leave him alone. So that's what we did. But as it turns out, this guy was with a married woman. Ooh. Now, I know that's not a big deal because there's a lot of people that do that. But the thing is, it causes and can cause problems. First of all, if everybody knows he's with a married woman and he's hanging out with you, then all of a sudden people start looking at you like you condone that. And maybe if you condone that, you also are partaking in that. Imagine if your girlfriend see him with this woman and find out that he's married and find out that you're okay with it, and all of a sudden you're in trouble for something you didn't even think about doing because of this punk. But that was not the worst part of it. The worst part of it was we started finding out that the women he was going out with were almost all married women and women in serious relationships. Ooh. And it had already started. People started thinking that we were the type of dudes that condone that. Ooh, he had stained the group. Oh, and a couple of times he was sitting around us. His lady friend who was married was at the bar. He just came over to say hi. She sees him talking. She walks over to him. And now we're sitting there and he's standing there talking to us and she's sitting there all hugged up with him. And then a big guy, huge guy, gigantic guy walks in, right? You're in a bar and the guy's so big you can actually feel his footsteps hitting the ground and you're thinking it's the aftershocks of an earthquake, and it's not. It's a guy who makes earthquakes walk away from him because they're scared of him. And he walks over and he's about to pound this guy into juice. Ooh. And we're sitting there like, I mean, if it was he was a good friend of ours and somebody was about to whoop him up, we would have jumped up and did, but I'm not going to get my ass whooped because this guy wants to try to get it on with somebody's wife. I'm not dealing with that, right? So she, don't do it, Bill. And she puts her hand on his chest. She had to stand on a chair to reach his chest. This dude was huge, right? And the dude that was with her was like, oh, crap, I didn't know. Of course he knew, right? And she goes, well, and then she's mad at him because he's trying to say he didn't know, implying that she's the liar, and she is a liar, but he's a liar too, right? But she hustles Captain Gigantoid out of the bar, and we're all sitting there like, good, you almost got us all killed. And we're thinking it's an aberration. That's not going to happen again. Yes, it did. And we realized, whoa, man. We sat him down. I was like, yo, man, you bringing a lot of heat to the table, man. People are thinking that we condone what you're doing. And in addition to that, you almost got us killed by a guy that could actually spin the rock on his finger like a basketball. I mean, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, if you understand what that's how big the dude was. You understand? Well, man, listen, man, you gotta understand, man. I mean, you saw how fine she was, man. I had to get some of that, man. Look, man, I knew she was married. Look, I don't chase married women, right? If I know a woman's married, I will respect their relationship and I will stay back and I won't do anything. You know what I mean? I won't do anything. But she came to me. You saw that woman, man. If a woman like that rolled up on you and was about to give you some of that sweet stuff, you would take it. And I said, no, you don't think women come up to every other guy? But we're smart enough to not get involved in that crap. You almost got your head pounded in. Was it worth it? Yeah, it kind of was. He thinks it's funny. And we kind of looked at this guy and we realized how much trouble he was bringing on us. And remember what I talked about? Silent protest. We had to silently protest this dude. And we didn't want to confront the guy because he was so stupid. He would have just followed us wherever we went. So we basically just switched to another place, right? Until he got the message. We don't want you around. You bring problems and troubles. We don't need that. Sometimes it's not worth confronting the person. Like I said, I didn't want to have to fight that guy in the bar. I decided not to go back to that Chinese food place who dropping metal in the damn food. And we decided we didn't want to be at the table with this guy who's bringing dudes big enough to be the whole UFC roster as one person in the damn bar, getting us all stomped out because of him. We didn't do anything. We all were with our own women. Well, we didn't have the women with us, but you know what I'm saying. So we had to get up off of that dude, man. And if you want to talk about a silent protest, you're seeing a silent protest right now with celebrities and you know who, everybody's favorite person, P. Diddy. He's getting the silent protest right now. Because if you notice, before there was a videotape of what he was alleged to have done, and now we know he actually did do because we saw the video. Everybody couldn't wait to take pictures with him. They're hugging the dude at his house, all in his face, hanging out with him, showing pictures of themselves with him. But the second this crap comes out, all of a sudden, silent protest. Everybody is decided. All the celebrities that were his friend decided to be quiet. And I don't blame them, because who in the blue hell would want to be around somebody that would do something like that? As I just stated, there was a guy that was sleeping with married women. We had to get rid of him because we didn't agree with that kind of thing. And also, we didn't want that guy who was big enough to reach his hand up and take the moon and squeeze it like a tennis ball. Big dude stomping us out because we happen to be in the proximity of that cheating piece of crap. Hell no. But when you see somebody do something like that, of course you want to stay away. I see people going, well, where are those celebrities that were his friends? Where are those celebrities that was his friends? I got news for you. If you know somebody that's going to do something like that, why would you want to be around them? Why would you want to be associated with them? I'm sure there are people that are celebrities, and I would say I'm thinking there are people that are celebrities that knew what he was doing and either was just so busy enjoying the money and the prestige that they were like, hey man, that's this, that, I ain't in it, it's him, I ain't gonna say nothing. Maybe they were afraid of him. Maybe they liked the money too much, right? And I'm sure there's some celebrities that basically just showed up at a party, took a picture with him because he's P. Diddy and went about their business. They probably didn't even know what the heck was going on. I'm sure there's some people that didn't know that was happening, because I can't imagine any human being with compassion and intelligence would want to be around somebody like that. How could you be around that and not say something? How could you be around that and associate yourself with somebody who would do something like that? I know I wouldn't. And I'll tell you a story. As you know, I'm a comedian, and I was doing some shows. This is a long time ago. I was a younger man then, and I was hanging around a guy that was a pretty nice cat. He wasn't a buddy of mine, but we were cool. We worked together every once in a while. Everybody, if we ran into each other back then, like he was in the same city I was in at a different club. Hey man, you working at the Floopty Floop Club? I'm working at the Joopty Joop Club. When's your show in? My show, okay man, let's get together and go to the bar and hey man, cool. We were like that, right? And occasionally we'd be on the same show. So we weren't buddies, but I knew him pretty well, I thought. And if somebody was to ask me if he was a nice guy, I would say, and I would pass a lie detector test, and I would say, yes, he is. Because to me, he was a nice guy because that's what I saw. But sometimes with these people, a lot of times with these people, there's an underlying sickness where they literally, the monster that exists within them is so hidden that even people that are around them don't even know that it's happening. How many times have you seen people, there was a guy that shot up a whole restaurant and he beat up a bunch of people and he went on a crime spree. He was a nice guy. He was a quiet guy. The whole town thinks this guy's a sweetheart. Why? Because the sickness that lay within him was so hidden that they couldn't see it. He was a master at hiding that from them. You see that with serial killers. They're so charming enough to get you into the house, and then we know where they were. What do we call them? Serial killers. You know what happens next. Right? So I'm working with this guy. We're coming back from a gig. He sees his girlfriend, and his girlfriend is annoyed with him for something. I don't know what it is. That's their business. And I'm about to walk away, and then I see him become really angry. And that's no big deal. Everybody's had fights. But then I saw the body language change as I'm walking away. And then I saw the body language become really, really kind of scary to me. So I started heading back towards him because I didn't want him to do anything stupid, and I didn't want her to get hurt. And as I'm getting close to him, he's becoming violent. And I, whoa! And I stop him. Right? And she's scared and he's angry. And I did not even recognize the mask on his face because I had seen him in many other circumstances. Circumstances where being angry might have been a little bit more appropriate, might have been very appropriate. And he was able to maintain his cool and to de-escalate in those particular situations. But in the face of the woman he's supposed to care about, he's supposed to love, all of a sudden he finds it acceptable to strike her. He didn't at this particular time. He gripped her up in a way that was uncomfortable, and I saw the hand coming back. But as I moved up, that's where the hand was going back. And he didn't swing the strike, but he was about to. And I tried to de-escalate the situation. Then he turns towards me. We had an evening together. We had fun. We were laughing and joking. High five, bro hugged as we departed and separated. And now the guy's looking at me like he wants to throw me over the balcony. And he starts to ball his fist up. And I'm looking at this guy and I'm going, this ain't going to go the way you think, dude. I'm the same size as you. I'm not 5'2", 116 pounds, bro. That's what I'm thinking. I think he was looking for fear. He didn't see fear. He saw anger because I'm sitting there going, I don't like you. This is what I'm thinking. I didn't say it. I don't like you because I now know you're a woman beater and you deceived all of us. And you think you're going to hit me? Oh, please do. I was praying that he swung at me so I could whoop his behind up and down the area where we were sitting because I was going to warm him up real good. I was going, as that guy from the UFC, I was going to give him 2 pieces and a soda. I was going to give him the whole Happy Meal section. I was going to give him a whole menu of butt whooping if he put his hands on me. I was waiting for him. And I even walked up closer to him, giving him an opportunity because I was going to tear his ass up. But he calmed down because I was going to bust his ass. I ain't going to lie to you. And he calmed down. And he walked away. And then she drove off, and then he drove off in his direction. Now, I had seen that. So I'm sitting there going, you're outside, and this is what you're doing. So I know this ain't the first time this happened. This is who you are in real life. The stuff that I'm like, which one is real? The guy that's ha 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 at the club, and the guy that's hee hee hoo 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 when hanging out with people, or the guy that's about to hit this lady. Which one is it? Doesn't matter. Either one of them. I mean, I'm saying, which one is real? And I think they're both real. But I think one of them is unacceptable. Unacceptable is just in general, and unacceptable as a friend of mine, and unacceptable as somebody I'm going to be around. And I immediately got rid of his behind. I can't say what happened after that, because that's not really my story to tell. She's went on to be fine. She's cool. But he was not part of my circle of friends anymore. My people were like, nah, man, we ain't going to be around that Jack. And we got rid of his behind with a quickness. I don't know what happened to him after that, but that lady's cool. I know that for a fact, just so you know. So when I think about the fact that I was ready to whoop this dude's behind, or well, okay, let me try to not try to act like I'm Superman or something, because he could just as easily have beat me down. I'm not going to say just because I was right and I was protecting the lady that I'm some kind of tough guy, but I couldn't let that happen, right? And like I said, he could have just as easily beat me up, but I was ready to take that risk because I wanted to put hands on it, but I wasn't going to do it first. I was going to wait for him to try to swing at me. Then I was going to tune him up if I had the ability to. I'm pretty sure I would have whooped his ass. But anyway, so when I see the people that were around this guy and saw this crap, all the crap that they said he did, which is even just a buffet of disgustingness, and you knew about it, and there were some of them that saw it or had evidence of it. You knew this was happening. You didn't say anything? Really? I was scared, man. You don't think those women were scared? I was scared, man. You don't think those... Come on, man. If I can call you man, but I don't think I can. So what I'm saying is, I'm sure there are people that didn't know, but I'm also sure there were people that did know. And to the people that did know and let it go on, everybody that got hurt after the first time you became aware of this happening, some of that's on you. Some of that's on you. Even if you sent anonymous tips or something like that, some kind of anonymous information, if you could have the ability to do, you could have done something. Come on, man. Imagine if I just stood there and watched this guy beat that lady up and didn't do anything. How do you think I'd feel watching her get hurt? So all I'm saying is, if you see something, say something. In many cases, the silent protest is right. But in that particular case, nah. When it comes to something like that, silence is not a virtue, my friend. That's all I'm saying. Well, folks, that has been episode number 483 of the S. Anthony Says podcast. Much love to you, my friends. I will see you again next time. Do me a favor, my friends, if you love this podcast, and you do me a favor and subscribe to this podcast on whatever podcatcher that you're listening to it, okay? If you love this podcast, and you do me a favor and rate and review 5 stars, please, on whatever podcast catcher allows you to rate and review the podcast. If you love this podcast, and you do, make sure that you tell a friend to listen to the S. Anthony Says podcast. If you love this podcast, and you do, make sure you come back every week because I'm going to be here, so you should be here. Okay? I will see you again next time, my friends. Take care.